Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the delay. And also apologies that we are starting a minute in. My graphics card overheated, which is never fun. We do come back to Swag getting some decent poke damage down. But my goodness gracious, my PC is on the brink of melting. I might have to finish up with this one. But Mimic is going to be taking a little bit further forward here. It's Ahsoka able to claim up that Gromp after doing the Raptors. So now Mimic is going to have to take a reset. He is only level 2, so we'll have a delayed level 3 at least. Dognappy doing some decent damage onto Rishi there. Teddy into Otz. Also decent damage. We're doing quite well, -1. As I am currently holding a fan in front of my PC. Swag managed to get the flash away from Nah. I win. It doesn't seem to be the case so far, as they are currently down both summoner spells. Now, Dognappy doing some decent damage down here onto the Ornn. Flash is available, so not going to be under major amount of threat. But -1 already do look to be in a little bit of a driver's seat. Already have a gold lead, 300 gold to their name. Mimic the only kind of player from -1 who is behind currently. Gold card comes through. Otz lands that stun onto Teddy. Now has the Tear of the Goddess, so is stacking that mana very quickly. There's a notification that I'm streaming, so thank you very much, Stream Elements. Haven't been doing this for 2.5 minutes. Now, Dognappy had the counter pick and already showing a decent amount of pressure, but not really able to confirm any kind of kills onto the Ornn here. But we'll be able to use this to try and get some kind of sort of lead on the solo lane itself. The gold card comes through. Otz has the damage advantage, but Teddy has the abilities. Flash forward there from Otz. It's going to be the response from Teddy. Goes into the loving arms of Ahsoka, but guess what? Otz is able to claim it up early. That's first blood to the hands of the Twisted Fate. And Teddy claims the first death for the first time, actually. Now I win. Does drop quite low. Swag overextending. Ali picks up that kill. -1, the heat might be getting to them because they're making somewhat silly mistakes. Swag goes way too far forward. Allows the combo of Ali and Now I Win to press an advantage here. Now up and alive. Gold card comes through. Petrifying Gaze is a bit brave, does not connect, but there is the added support of Cody and Mimic here. Comes forward. This is going to be Mimic dashing on in from the flag and drag. Gold card is currently in hold. Mimic is the one who gets caught out. It's a double stun there, landing on from Cody, but this turret damage is too much. Seraphine comes in to back up the Twisted Fate, and Otz manages to get out alive. Does do quite well to keep it. Dognappy needs to start getting some kind of significant lead on this top lane, sorry. Otherwise, -1 are now, as it stands, behind. Gold lead, and in terms of kills, Swag hasn't been able to press the value that you can get from this Kalista early. Yes, up in farm, but down a kill means that CS difference is relatively mute. Now, Teddy going to be engaged upon here, having to back away, but it's going to be a quick and easy execution there for the Nefiri. Swag has to back away. I'm not certain if the Renata W proc, but we are going to see a little bit more of an aggressive stance here. Dognappy does manage to do, as I said, press the advantage, get that kill. Mimic now onto the Seraphine, but that shielding is going to be a bit too much to contest with. Now, Destiny comes through. Ahsoka also in as well. It's going to be a very nice ultimate there from the Twisted Fate to land that gold card in. Ahsoka gets the kill, second of the game. And it's a good little bit of map play there from the fraudsters. Cody needs to be very cautious here. As he currently stares down 3 members of the fraudsters. To hold this wave for Swag, who is not having a great time into this Seraphine. The slows from the E proving a bit too much to handle for Kalista. -1. Now, thanks to Dognappy, are on the board, who has already gotten his first item. The Zeeks is the option he's going for. It's going to help with a lot of sticking power, especially onto these slightly more dashy champs like the Nefiri, like the Smolder with the E. So just having that sticking potential does make life a little bit easier. The All-Out is currently on cooldown, but Call of the Forge God is very much lying in wait for Rishi to let loose. Dognappy's doing significantly better in this matchup here. A lot more confident. Is able to use the sharp, manages to push the Ornn a little bit closer towards him. No all-out means that he won't be able to drag him back, but gets a good amount of damage. Ornn does have TP though, so can look to just take a reset and come back in. Mimic now goes forward, has got the Cataclysm available, manages to catch both Ali and Narrowin. But there is no more interaction. Dognappy dealing significant damage. That's going to be the all-out comes through. Goes underneath the turret. Rishi's going to be dropping very low, but the Zeke's slow is proving to be too much to handle for the Ornn. And that's going to be 2 to the hands of Dognappy. Putting them to sleep, it seems. The newest top laner on the block for -1. The gold lead has been crumbled down to 300 gold, so -1 very much able to come back in this situation. Then he comes forward. That's the Petrifying Gaze, but it's going to be met with a yellow card. Now grounded is Otz. And with that Swifties, will be capable of just kind of fully disengaging. Dognappy already looking to continue this high level of aggression. Does manage to get the knockback on the Ornn. Doesn't have TP, so it will be a long back for the Forge God. We haven't really seen much. We haven't seen much from Swag. That CS lead is progressively getting worse and worse for Ali. Now pushing into the midst of about the high 30s. Dognappy once again proving to be a very, very tough target. Nice little handshake there from Cody. Does mean that Narrowin has to play a little bit more further back, but overall, not all too much happening at this moment in time in the game. Void Grubs are up and available, but neither jungler are looking towards it. Now, as I say that, over the wall, all out comes Dognappy and Rishi. Here comes the call of the Forge God, but he might die before he gets a chance to use it. It's going to be a massive fight here in the bot lane. Kanakisa manages to lock up too. Ahsoka and Narai Win are both locked up. That's the Nefiri going down. It's another going down as well. That's the Seraphine. The Small is taken down by Dognappy, who's TP'd in. Tanking the turret now. Kalista gets that double kill. And it's a well-executed fight here for -1. And that will swing the gold lead massively in favor of them. Didn't actually have any casualties of their own. So, as the game stands, it's a 3.2k gold lead for -1. Have an advantage of 3 kills, and this Drake is spawning in a minute's time. -1 managed to pick up the first one. But they haven't really seen all too much engagement after that fight in bot lane. Teddy is going to be chasing down the Seraphine here, now with the upgraded Swifty boots. And building towards that Rod of Ages. As I'm hearing news that Shorty's team has apparently ended up forfeiting because they're a bunch of chuds. So, look at that. Well, Shorty, you've joined at an excellent time because there is an Ornn on screen, and there might be an Ornn leaving the screen very quickly. Currently dropped down very low, but is going to be able to get that level 10 marker. And that means the upgraded TP, but currently almost down 50 CS to the Cassante here. Potentially see Teddy closing the gap here. Dognappy's also available. Here comes the cavalry, the solo laners of -1. Teddy manages to land that first bit. That means the Cassiopeia is going to be able to get that speed boost. The exhaust comes through, so now Otz has to try and back away. Going to have to wait for another cycle to be able to get that. And can he cancel the ult? He can. Petrifying Gaze didn't manage to land, but it is going to be the Cassante follow through. The all out ends up proving enough to get Dognappy the kill. And right now, 5-0-0 is Dognappy. You wouldn't have expected this from the Cassante, but guess what? The rookie's deciding that he wants to try and prove himself. Cody, potentially in a bad spot, does manage to cancel the first lot of the Nefiri ult. Here comes the encore, beautifully dodged away by the Fate's Call. Cody does take it out of there, opting to not send himself into danger, but -1. Very happy with this trade overall. They picked up that second Drake, so the Drake stacking is currently underway. A little bit delayed from what would most liked with that Drake spawning in at 4 minutes time, means that the earliest assault can happen is around about the 25-minute mark, and that is assuming that they burst it down as soon as it spawns. So expect something a little bit more around the mid-27s for this soul. Now, flash forward here comes through from Cody. Isn't going to be able to land the handshake, but Dognappy is on the side to be able to do a little bit of lockdown work. Manages to get the Q3 armed and ready. Doesn't manage to knock back either the Seraphine or the Twisted Fate, so it is just going to be disengage back to the lab again. Now it is static shiv here for swag, so that shock will be applying a spear to each member that the zap connects onto. But what can -1 look for here? Ognappy takes it very far forward, manages to get a decent chunk of lockdown onto Rishi, but that Ornn is very much starting to out-tank the damage that's being dealt to him. Now, -1 are definitely not in an as advantageous position as they were against the Duckies in their previous game, but definitely not behind. Otz will pull that yellow card out. Some would say that he is rigging this deck. And now Swag looks for that mid-tier 1 turret. Wouldn't be the last tier 1 to fall, but there's one in this -1 squad's kind of favoritism to clearing one lane at a time. One turret, move lane, one turret, move lane. And then when that's done, you go to the next lane that you think you can pressurize. Teddy is going to be in a spot of bother in a moment, though, as Ahsoka and Otz very far forward, but Luke, you can see the pings on the map. He's aware of it. Herald will now be summoned in this bot side. Very similar in terms of objectives in favour of -1. That's a second turret taken. Teddy does go for a little bit of a drive. Potentially might look to try and reach into the mid lane, but not going to as just yet. It will, however, potentially be a dive here. Petrifying Gaze goes very wide. But Teddy opting to carry on here. Does take off a decent chunk of turret damage, but not enough to make anything lethal occur. Fraudsters will take this time to be able to get some damage onto this top side. You do see that Ahsoka and Rishi are pressurizing that topside jungle and topside turret simultaneously. It's all in exchange for this third Drake, the Infernal Drake, the Infernal Soul. The damage that might come through from this will be crucial for -1 ending this game ever so slightly that little bit earlier. And like I said, the soonest that this Drake Soul will be claimed will be approximately 2450. However, that is given that the timing is right and everyone's able to get there on time. In the meantime, though, Baron is now spawning. Hasn't actually been a kill since Dognappy on Otz about 5 minutes ago, it feels. But while all this is going down, -1 is still able to express their gold lead. We are going to see more forward-facing play here. The Neferi Hounds are really going to benefit the Kalista with that Static Shiv, and now with the Ginsus as well. Ott needs to be cautious. Teddy finds Ahsoka. Call of the Forge Order will come in to try and protect the Neferi. Does manage to land onto Teddy, so it will be quite difficult for -1 to kind of follow up on this without Mimic being close by or Dognappy coming in on the flank. That mid-tier 1 is now gone. Now with the Kalista and especially the Cassiopeia, this Baron take will be exceptionally fast. Baron claimed for -1. Can they press the advantages here? What we can see right now is Ahsoka on the Neferi pressing into this bot side jungle, trying to get some vision out and around. They're also trying to make work this bot tier 1 too, just so that they can try and have an advanced positioning for when this Drake does spawn. It will look like the Otts can get it, if not a little bit close and dicey. No, he actually can't get it. So that bot tier 1 will remain in place. So the fraudsters will remain where they are for the time being, at least. Now, interesting enough, Twisted Fate has got both Teleport and Destiny Gate up and available. I believe it's Spellbook Twisted Fate. So be prepared to see a random summoner spell come through. But right now, -1, working towards this bot tier 2. Gold card does connect onto Mimic, so that's going to be the Jarvan taken out of the equation. But guess what? There's still a Kalista, so that turret does fall. But keep an eye on Ahsoka once again in that bot side jungle, snooping around. Does now get spotted out, and look at this, the -1 team immediately turning towards a fight here. Teddy very happy to go into that backline. Mimic there as well. We're also going to see Dognappy on Rishi in top lane. That's tier 2 done. The mid-jungle duo from the Fraudsters were able to claim that bot tier 1, so that's going to be the first turret taken off of -1. 24 minutes or so into the game. Now in 45 seconds time, the final Drake that -1 needs to claim the soul will be up and alive. Infernal Soul would mean devastation in terms of the damage numbers. But can -1 control the pace of the game? Right now, Frost is very much pressing a heavy kind of death ball composition here. It's going to be locked up now. Dognappy does get slowed, locked up by the Seraphine E as well. Call of the Forge God means that he can't really move all too much. It's a nice bit of Petrifying Gaze, and it's a gorgeous hostile takeover. It's going to be the Smolder falling down first, but Mick is taken down very soon after. We're going to see Swag on the front line, following down from Not, and it's a beautiful cull there from the Kalista. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is not going to fish for the Penta. Swag shows a little bit of restraint there. Now -1 are pressurizing the base, and this Infernal Drake will definitely make life a little bit nicer for them. But Rishi is going to be able to at least slow them down a little bit. You can see Teddy is the one focusing on the turret. That's going to be the Infernal Drake pop. That's the Infernal Soul as well. -1 are in the driver's seat, crucially, with that Infernal Soul as well. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to that part of the game where you know which team is going to win. It's just a matter of how long is it going to take them. We are currently seeing a couple of members of the Fraudsters sitting in base. It did look like Ahsoka disconnected. Destiny Gate does come through, but it doesn't look like it's going to be engaged, as that's going to be Rishi taken down. It looks like the Fraudsters are surrendering the base here, as Neferi takes a seat in base. And that's it! -1, pick up another win! Yeah, wasn't quite sure what was happening there, but that's a very interesting way to end that game. Now, excuse me, because my client has just combusted again. I think Teddy petrifying gazed my PC again. Of course he did. Now, there are still some games going on, and we will be with you very soon as to see what and who is moving on to where. It looks like One Hit Coma Shorty's team has now forfeited. Where is Brod? Okay, there's Brod. Yeah, interesting kind of end there. It wasn't all too interesting. And I guess that it wasn't a matter of how long it would take them, because it was rather quick, in fact. My Riot client has completely blown up, so there is the potential chance that I would need to restart my PC. Of course, thank you, Riot. As I will now try and open the League of Legends client. Right, I'm just awaiting confirmation of what is going on. There are 3 matches still underway, so what we will do is we will go for a break while I try and work out what I need to do to fix my PC from overheating, because it is very much not enjoying what is happening at the moment. But -1 just took a win there. So, definitely a good start to what will be round 4, coming off 2 wins. Brod still very much in the lead with 3 wins. Absolved are currently still playing with Akari's party, who are the only other team on 2 wins against another team on 2 wins. But we shall wait and see what ends up happening. -1 are currently 7th in the standings, out of a possible 20 teams. We now have confirmation that Berserk, Malta, and One Hit Coma have now forfeited. So we'll be back very shortly to continue coverage of the monthly cup here by the UKEL. Don't go anywhere. We will be back very shortly. It means that this one is a little bit safer to pick up. And with Riven taken off the cart as well, Dognappy is Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for -1 against the Super Sparkly Unicorns here in the UKEL May monthly tournament. Coming into this, a little bit of a fun fact. Actor Dave holds the most amount of mastery out of all of these players here, at level 36 on the Azir. Now, the -1 bot lane are going to be able to spot this out. Sanguinius is not going to be able to lock it down, but it's going to be a decent amount of damage going through onto Danny Dump Truck. That's Cody dropping low. And that is the heal used already. So the early pressure from the Pantheon already getting a little bit of value. He will arrive ever so slightly late to his camp, but it's a matter of seconds, which I doubt will have much major impact on the state of the lane. Now, there is going to be an early push coming here from Oingo Brother and Stitch, but I think the real piece of target that we want to keep an eye on is absolutely this mid lane. Yone into Azir. Teddy against his signature champion. In fact, a lot of -1 look like they have okay picks. Oingo Brothers is going to be taking up a decent chunk of damage. It's going to be on hit Varus by the looks of things, given that he has got the lethal tempo on the Varus here. Swag has shown off before that he has a very proficient Varus indeed. Especially when he was first pick. -1 would usually opt to try and take him away, and if not, they would opt for a Yasuo pickup, actually. Now, Oingo Brothers going to be taking a decent chunk of damage. That big burst coming through from the Q, but this is a Lucian with full stacks ready. Now, it's up to Cody to try and deal the damage. Manages to land that first, but the Comet will not land. It's an auto attack that claims the kill. Now it's Stitch in the 1 versus 2, but both members of the -1 bot lane do not have much left in the way of health bars. And here we go, level 2 for Cody. Manages to land the Strangle Barbs, and it's going to be Swag picking up that kill as well. It's 1-1 for both of the bot lane duo. Very well played there by Swag and Cody. As such, -1 will pull away a nice early lead in the bot lane. That's a pickaxe pickup there for Swag. Cody is awaiting something in base. Not sure what it is just yet. Now, Dognappy is going to be on a little bit of a lesser impactful side in the top lane, but definitely still getting some work done. Wooden Spoon tanks up a turret shot. We have seen these two face off in the past, but never on these two champions. We are used to seeing Dognappy on those much more high-octane, high kind of APM champions. But seeing him on the Ornn, it's going to be a nice little change of pace here. Sanguinius flashing forward there onto Teddy. Has to flash away, but it's going to be flash for flash. But at the end of the day, Pantheon's flash is significantly less useful than a flash on the mid laner. So now expect a lot more attention on the Yone here, now that they are flashless. Teddy, potentially looking for an extended trade here after using the E on the Yone. Does get a decent amount of damage off. The Azir shield does not manage to block it. Oingo Brother does get a little bit panicked by the clone there in that middle bush. But Dognappy is actually faring very well in this top lane. It's going to take a decent amount of damage there. And it will be the Conqueror propped up, but he's able to keep relatively band for band here with the Wooden Spoon. One thing to know about Irelia is that it's not about how well you play into her early, it's how well you can react when she has that item. A beautiful knock-up. It's going to actually be a 1-for-1, it looks like, with the turret damage. Well timed there from Dognappy. And with the state that the wave is in and the fact that Wooden Spoon does not have a teleport, looks like it might be favouring for the Ornn. But we do see Sanguinius is in that top side, so he's going to be able to try and fix this wave here for the Irelia. Just get it shoved in and in a way that's more favourable for the Dancer. Now, Teddy, once again, making a start on Actor Dave. Just trying to chip down that health bar and then potentially look for a Fate's Call. There is going to be Shurima Shuffle. Actor Dave in a low spot. W might just coming up and available here for Teddy. Now with that Q2. -1 currently with a gold and kill advantage. And a lot of that will be focused in swag. But right now, definitely not living their worst life is Dognappy on the Ornn. So it'll be a question of, can they get some kind of advantage? We are going to see a little bit of a further engagement here from the Ornn himself. Dognappy going to close that gap, but Aurelia has the maximum amount of stack, so very much ready for a fight. That's the charge. The Bellows Breath going to use to cancel that stun initially, but not all too much. Here comes the Call of the Forge God now. Aurelia, no flash available. Dognappy in a very good spot indeed. That's the pillar, and that's a solo kill. Dognappy doing spectacularly there. You can already see that Teddy has enjoyed his time here in mid lane. He's actually ahead in farm, so playing this quite well with that Doran Shield, playing a little bit more on the defensive side of things. And now expect that gold lead in top lane to start to snowball as more and more armor items come through for the Ornn. And we haven't seen any shenanigans come through from Cody just yet. Has only been disguising himself as his lane partner Swag. But I have no doubts that at some point we will see Cody disguise himself as a minion and try and run at the enemy. Dognappy's still doing incredibly well here into the Irelia. Has got the maximum amount of stack, so we'll opt to essentially not fight much here. Now, first rate did go into the way of -1. That was a couple of minutes ago. A very slow starting game so far. Dognappy just taking these chances that he can to get a little bit of poke damage down. Does not have the Thornmail just yet. Now, Teddy does look to try and potentially take an engage here. Emperor's Divide is available. Now, here comes the Fate Seal. It's going to be the Cease and Desist follow-up, and it's going to be the Shurima Shuffle to take them both underneath the turret. Actor Dave going to be dropping low. Teddy picks up that first kill. Pantheon does use the Grand Starfall to come in, and it's going to be a nice land on the Chains of Corruption onto Oingo Brother. Bubble double from the Pop Blossom. Not enough to get the kills, but definitely enough to get rid of some of those summoner spells. Dognappy now on the top side, dealing a decent chunk of damage here to the Irelia. Does manage to get that minion under the turret. Dare I say, -1. Now, Wooden Spoon, under a lot of pressure, doesn't manage to cancel the Call of the Forge God, hasn't got a flash, and that's going to be another solo kill. Dognappy was counterpicked on this Ornn, and it's looking like he was the one who picked it into the Irelia at this rate. Incredible play from this rookie top laner. Oh dear. And here comes the shenanigans. There's going to be the Tangle Bobs forward, and that's going to be Oingo Brother taken down. Second death of the game, second going into the hands of Swag, and that's what I was talking about. The shenanigans that Nico pulls off, especially when it's in the hands of Cody. This bot tier 1 falling very, very low, very, very quickly. As this bot duo from -1 has been able to keep this pressure up. Drake spawning in 17 seconds, so you'll see either double reset into move straight back down. But Mimic is also here, so there's potential for just looking to try and claim it. Now, Teddy playing this mid lane phenomenally. Up in CS, it is only by 2, but especially in a range versus melee matchup, that's definitely better than not. Now, Dognappy is going to look to potentially deal a big chunk of damage here to the Wooden Spoon, who does now have the Vampiric Scepter, so some would say that Aurelia is full build, but look at this damage coming through from the Ornn. Now with the Sunfire. And look at this, Dognappy is absolutely playing with his food. Vanguard's Edge does come through, and the Flash will be used as well. He's going to go for the Flash W. He's going to go for the Flash W, and he's going to be able to land it. Actadave is now in a bit of a spot of trouble. Here comes the cease and desist. Knocked down, knocked over. It's going to be a lockup onto Mimic, so he's not going to be able to get the kill. But guess what? Cody's there to sling over the Q. Oingo Brother now rooted up, locked down. Here comes the Pop Blossom. No cigar for the -1 support, but it's 2 kills to nothing in this trade in the bot side. And Dognappy is still pressurizing this top tier 1. So there's the potential of the Unicorns losing 2 tier 1s on opposite sides of the map, both at once. And Cody's just Cody's playing with Sanguinius here. That red buff's going to be reset a couple of times. Dognappy now backing off, buying yet more armor. Now, there's potential for some lane swaps here now that quests are being completed. Only ones still left to complete theirs are actually every member of the Unicorns, and then Mimic on the side of -1. Definitely in the commanding lead. It is currently a 6,000 gold lead, and Wooden Spoon might be making it a little bit less appreciated. As Dognappy's just kind of doing what he wants. There's going to be the Bellows Breath. There's going to be the Call of the Forge God. Manages to land the double passive hits. That Q will slow down, but will it be just enough? There is a lot of damage coming through. It's close. Just kidding, it really wasn't, was it? Dognappy picks up a 5th of this game. Actadave in a very, very bad spot. Sanguinius not going to be able to come in to back up his mid laner, but that's a level lead for Ted. Doesn't manage to land that Q2. Oh, they sense the Cody trickery. And they were right to do so. But this will be the top tier 1 going down. Now, a little bit of a collapse here from the side of -1. That Hextech Rocket Belt wasn't going to be able to land anywhere, but it's going to be the Chains of Corruption that does manage to connect, and it's going to be Oingo Brother put under a decent chunk of pressure. But guess what? Pressure? What pressure? Swag takes him down, and it's just Stitch left underneath the turret, left to defend himself against the world. There is no Pantheon coming to save you. It's Mimic under, and it's Swag who's unstoppable. 501, now with the static shift as well. This will be the top tier 1 and bottom tier 1 falling relatively quickly. And -1, look at this, is pure domination. We're almost at 10k gold lead, and it's only been 14 minutes. Teddy, is he going to look for a little bit of a fight here? Has got the flash available, manages to chase with the Q2. Going to be looking to get a little bit more damage down before he pulls that back. Now goes in with a Fate Sealed. It's going to be the Emperor's Divider, takes him over the wall, but it's a flashback onto the Azir. Now Sanguinius in this 1 versus 1, but I would not trust that this is not a Yone who can win it, but it's going to be a beautiful little combo there. Shut down onto that Pantheon. But Ornn is now starting to get upgrades. Now building towards that Jack show. So that 15% bonus armor is going to progressively increase the more items he upgrades. Cody. Potentially in a little bit of a skirmish here with Stitch. Does manage to land the volley onto the Melio. And there comes the Call of the Forge God. It's going to be landing onto Stitch, but it's not actually going to be necessary. Swag manages to clean up that kill, and is now 6-0-1. It's currently 2 kills to the side of the Unicorns, and this gold lead is very, very quickly starting to balloon out of control. They do have the 3 grubs, so they will be able and capable of at least getting decent turret damage down, but Teddy might potentially be in a spot of bother here. Is at level 11, hasn't got ult, hasn't got flash, is going to have to try and take a bit of a defensive action here, but it's not going to be enough. Taken down there by Actor Dave, who gets his first kill on the board. We do see the Ornn fly across the map. Going into the bot lane after shoving in that wave in top, so -1 will still continue to put this pressure on this bot side. Drake is up in a minute and 13 seconds as Dog Nappy might potentially be in a spot of bother. This is not a Pantheon with Black Cleaver, so this Ornn will have the maximum amount of resistance. This gives a little shuffle before he backs away there. No flash used. So it's going to be all kind of... It's relatively mute. Now, Oingo Brother does get caught out by the unlikely Cody. But no kills will come as a result of it. Amazingly so. The Stitch, potentially in a bad spot here. 606 comes through. This is the Melio lockdown. Cody and Swag are nearby as well. I expect the kill to go over to Swag. The flash will be used, but it will be for naught. Now, Wooden Spoon in a 1v1 against Teddy on the top side, but it's meanwhile in the bot lane, mid lane even. It's going to be locked down onto Sanguinius. That's the Pantheon taken down. Actor Dave goes forward. Doesn't manage to connect. The Ornn using the Bellows Breath disincentivize any kind of further play, but it's going to be Oingo Brother now under a decent spot of pressure. Knocked up, knocked back, and taken all the way home. A -1 while starting to run away. This is now a absolutely gigantic gold lead. Teddy is going to be caught with the Vanguard's Edge underneath the turret, and it will be the W from the Irelia that does claim the kill. It is only an 11k gold lead, but, I mean, an 11k gold lead is still an 11k gold lead. Wooden Spoon will be able to actually get this turret in top lane, so it will at least dampen that gold lead. You will have to do it relatively quickly, because Wooden Spoon will be under threat from the Ornn momentarily. But no Call of the Forge God means that no kind of early potency. As the third Drake will go down, this is Soul Point now for -1. Cody transforming into a CS plant. Interesting tactical decision there from the Nico of -1. But I will not hold it against him after all. They are very much the winning bot lane in this game. Currently, the Unicorns 0-9 as a duo. 12-0-11 for -1. And that Nico now has an upgraded rocket belt, building towards that Frozen Heart. Will we get to see this Dash Pop Blossom come to fruition? Right now, it's just a little bit of a wait. Fate Sealed, used to get Teddy out of there. Now Wooden Spoon is going to get locked up, is going to get knocked up, and is going to get taken out. Pantheon ult does come through as well. This might be a little bit overeager here. Sanguinius in a spot of bother, waiting for that that E-shield to back away. And double kill there for Swag, and all he's doing is he's just climbing the ladder of kills again and again and again. Swag, 2 standout games in a row. Game 1 on Kalista, Game 2 on this Varus. Just as a reminder of how this bracket works, the top 3 teams will go through will win during this switch stage. We are going to see a Call to the Forge God come through. It's only going to connect onto the Lucian, but that will be enough to take him down. Now, Teddy in chase against Stitch. Has got the flash. Will he try and look for a little bit more? Uses the Q3 to try and connect it, but it's not going to be enough. The damage does not come through. -1. This is the chance they need to close out this game. This mid lane has a wave coming. Stitch will be taken down by Cody. Baron will be in the sights of the jungler and ADC. And this Irelia really just has not been able to get off the ground. Oh dear, Sanguinius locked up, popped up, knocked down. And Cody able to deal a massive chunk of damage here. Does take a decent amount himself. And that double recall sound is very loud indeed. Now, I don't want to ring the bell before it's rung, but -1. This is going to be a generational throw if they manage to lose this. It seems that -1 are very capable when it comes to playing when they have the lead early. It's when they don't have that lead early, the games get very scrappy. Mimic does find a couple of members of the Unicorns, is a little bit out of position. But what will the response be? It's going to be a lock-up here. Swag quickly deals with Oingo Brother. And also deals with Irelia relatively quickly. Stitch now going to be trying to flash away, but he's not going to be able to from the Yone of Teddy. Triple kill now for Swag, as it's almost an ace here. One member remains. Sanguinius, I'm sorry to say, but that Ornn is not going down without a significant amount of damage being dealt to you. One more passive of the Bellows Breath. And Teddy might just come in to clean up house here. It is an ace in the base. Cody gets a celebratory Pot Blossom off, and that's going to be a very quick game indeed. 22 minutes, the Soul doesn't even have a chance to spawn. And -1 will take their game in round 4 and go to be one of the only teams remaining on 1 loss only. And what an absolute star-studded game from them.